Amid the massive drone attack by Ukraine on Russia, the two sides held a second round of talks in Istanbul. These discussions followed a recent surge in intense military activity, with both sides exchanging drone strikes in a show of force. Amid the ongoing conflict, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has also intensified calls for harsher sanctions against Russia. In Turkey, both delegations exchanged documents through Turkish mediators as part of the ongoing negotiations. Despite these formal steps, the talks have so far failed to inspire confidence that a lasting peace is within reach, especially as the conflict drags into its third year with no clear resolution in sight. Remember, Ukraine launched a surprise strike on Russia in an operation dubbed as Operation Spiderweb, and Russia has reportedly incurred many infrastructure damage, and of course there are reportedly damages to its air defense fields as well. Now let's quickly listen in to what the Ukrainian defense minister had to say after these negotiations. The second round of talks got over in Istanbul, which lasted for just an hour.
On release of prisoners of war, we agreed to focus on specific categories rather than numbers. We agreed to exchange all for all, seriously wounded and seriously sick prisoners of war. Second category is young soldiers who are from 18 to 25 years old, all for all. Also, we agreed to return 6,000 to 6,000 bodies of fallen soldiers.
All right, on Times Now, I'm joined by Elizaveta Igorevna. She's a war correspondent at Arbat. Elizabeth, thank you very much for speaking with us on Times Now. Can I first start by asking you, Elizaveta, since this attack happened, since Operation Spiderweb happened, and it happened deep within the Russian territory, how do you assess the scale of this entire operation and the subsequent damage that it caused?
Yes, hello, nice to meet you. Yes, some of the attacks and terrorist attacks on the territory of Russia Federation were held by SBU and GUR institutes of Ukraine. And Operation VAP on drone strikes against Russia's strategic aviation carried out by the SBU, and this was much bigger and more effective than the GUR operation on the railway station. And in addition, the destruction of the bridge of the passenger train had unpleasant consequences for Ukraine as well. The SBU launched Operation VAP. More than 40 Russian aircraft fell victim to it, including some of the really important strategic means for us. And the operations were held in the Russian, in the Ryazan region, Irkutsk region, Ivanovo region, and Murmansk region. As we see, it's not a front line. And of course, it is foolish to deny the damage. Yes, the damage, it exists, but we still maintain strategy parity. The main striking force of our nuclear trade is a land component. The air and sea components only supplement it. And if we think theoretically, even the loss of half of our nuclear potential in counter-strikes still retains the ability to destroy the Earth for several times.
Okay. Which leads me to my next question, and the next logical question is, do you think then there was a very critical loophole that was missed out by the Russian administration, by the Russian military, considering the fact that there were drones that were hidden in trucks, people didn't know about it? Many security analysts say this was a very Trojan hostile attack that happened on Russia.
I will say so, that this situation only reflects the problems in the activities of the volunteers. Now the drones can be bought on, I think, every marketplaces, and premises can be rented solely at the first mention of phrase like in order to help the front line. People blindly try to help, and they sometimes not thinking about that the enemy can use it. In essence, yes, the operation is similar to the image of a Trojan horse, but we will deal with this problem.
Elizaveta, then can I also understand from you, and these are reports suggesting that Russia had fewer than 100 strategic bombers, that 1/3 of the strategic bases were damaged by this kind of a strike under Operation Spiderweb. Therefore, the question arises, is Russia ready for this new kind of warfare where drones are involved, where tech is involved?
Russia is ready for everything and always. And modern warfare is basically the drone warfare, because the modern war is modernized. And Russia, I will say, like Phoenix, will arise from the dead after strikes. So there is the same situation.
You know, after this entire operation, Elizaveta, a lot of calm is still prevailing on the Russian side. One would expect that the natural response would be to retaliate, and retaliate much harder than what Ukraine has done. So far, we haven't seen that happening. How do you see now Vladimir Putin making sure that he responds in an appropriate way?
Well, I think that we must say about the logical moment. Like before the first round of negotiations, the Ukrainian armed forces advanced on Chotkina, Kursk region. After that, we broke through the Sam region in Kursk region as the same. Now they committed terrorist acts and they destroyed our equipment. Don't think that this will go unpunished. Our Supreme Commander-in-Chief, Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin, our president, is the best strategist in the world. And everything is going according to the plan. And to stop to such a low level as Ukraine is doing is, at the very least, not in the Russian spirit. So, of course, we will try our best to make another move to Ukraine.
You know, you mentioned regions and you mentioned plan, Elizaveta, and one of the foremost questions that now arises is what Russia has put forth in the second round of negotiations that happened in Istanbul. One of the demands from the Russian side has been that Ukraine declares the 4 regions of Luhansk, Donetsk, Zaporizhia, as well as Kherson as Russian territory, something that Ukraine has categorically rejected. If these rejections keep happening, how do you see the peace talks now moving forward?
Firstly, I think I should mention that Russia's conditions for the ending of special military operation were announced in 2022 and have been repeated for many, many times till nowadays. And I think perhaps Vladimir Zelensky needs to check his basic physical and intellectual skills if he hasn't yet memorized these conditions. And of course, after the last time of the negotiations, we repeated it for one more time. And I think that if Ukrainian side wouldn't understand these conditions, we will just move forward to special military operation, and we will be in this operation for as long as these conditions won't be appreciated from the Ukrainian side.
Okay. And therefore, Elizaveta, you know, the kind of negotiations that have taken place, of course, they will sort of slow down, and we also saw it yesterday when it lasted, the entire meeting lasted only for 1 hour, when more could have been discussed. That, of course, was impacted by the kind of military developments that have happened in the past few hours. But as far as America's role in these negotiations is concerned, how do you see that playing a role in this entire direction that Russia and Ukraine are moving forward in, and that is not having a permanent ceasefire?
You mean the role of the Mr. Trump, as
Yes.
I understand you
Yes.
correct? Yeah, I think that there is little hope for Trump's efforts in principle. I believe that Mr. Trump should pay attention to the Middle East and solve his country's internal problems. For America, Ukraine is a way to strengthen its influence, I mean Americans' influence in international politics, get real benefits from Ukrainian territories, lands, and improve relationships with Russia. And I should say that Mr. Trump, Donald Trump, is not a peacemaker. He simply acts in the...
He claims to be the peacemaker, he claims to be the mediator, and he claims also that he's going to be ending the Russia-Ukraine war.
But as we see, Mr. Trump simply acts in the interests of his country. And this is real.
Okay. And therefore, you know, how do you then see this moving forward? Because yes, there have been setbacks for Russia. As you said, it will be foolish to not accept the kind of damage that has happened. There will certainly be a response, a retaliation, but some sort of decisions were taken in Istanbul as well. When we talked about the prisoner exchange, when we talk about that short ceasefire that has been decided upon. Do you see these moving forward, you know, one by one, one step at a time? Because obviously a permanent ceasefire and a permanent peace deal will take a lot of time.
I see that the special military operation will be continued because Ukraine won't accept the conditions that we mentioned going back to 2024. I mean, 22, I'm sorry. I mean that I'm talking about these four territories, Lugansk, Donetsk, Kherson, and Zaporozhye. They won't accept it, and then we will continue to fight.
All right, we'll leave it there. Elizaveta Igorevna, thanks very much for joining us on Times Now and sharing your perspective and, of course, the entire ground situation as far as this conflict is concerned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.